y'all? What's going on? What's going on? It's your boy Kev, co-host of Knicks and Ish, and I got a special guest. Special guest. It's my guy. I've known him for like almost. We've never met in person, right? We never met in person,
Never met in person yet, but
but
we've known each other for several years now, going
right,
back and
right,
forth, debating New York Knicks, Miami Heat, just basketball sports in general. Yours truly, Chill Samp, aka Bro, I know him say, checking in here, representing the
that's what's
Sports
up.
Coasters. A shout out to you, Kev. Appreciate you for having me on. Like I said, we've
Yeah.
done this many times, many times before in the past, but I think this one is a little sweeter this time around because it's been quite some time since we've had a rivalry like this. So this is going to be real deep. I'm looking forward to it.
I think that the last time we faced each other in the playoffs was 2012 when y'all had LeBron in them.
Yeah, that was during our Big Three era. That was the
Yeah,
last
yeah,
time we faced each other, and the vibes wasn't really the same either. Then it didn't really feel like the rivalry that we normally had with each other. I think there was a
yeah.
lot going on with your team internally, and
That's a
our
fact.
team was the Big Three, so it wasn't. And then we had a long layoff before we played since we last played each other, so
Hmm.
the vibes wasn't like that, but this time around, it definitely feels like that. Like something
Yeah,
about this time around makes it feel like it's going to be one of those classics.
and I think a lot of that has to do with Jimmy. Jimmy's that that guy like he the one that like to start everything up, right?
Yeah,
He
it's
talking
been
shit. He talking
it's
shit. You gotta respect it.
he does his thing, but see the thing about Jimmy is that I love he feels his way through a game. Jimmy's mindset isn't always to come out there and drop 30 on you. Some
Yeah,
nights Jimmy, whatever he feels like he needs to do to win for his team, he's going to do that. If it means hitting the offensive glass, he's going to do that. If it means defending the other team's best player or scorer, he's going to do that. If it means putting the team on his shoulders and dropping 30 or plus, then he'll do that too. So yeah, Jimmy's real special. He's been special for us, and this is a real special year for Jimmy, especially playoff Jimmy. There's different levels there. Yeah.
no, yeah. There's no denying. There's no denying that. And I mean, he even went to the finals with y'all. So that says a lot. Like, you guys, I think it was like what 2 years ago y'all went to the finals. Two
Yeah,
years
yeah.
ago?
We were just in the finals, like I would say with two was in the bubble. So that was about 2 years ago. A
Right.
matter of fact, that's one thing that our team does have right now that I like is that experience factor because we've been to the finals. If you take Jimmy, Bam, and Lowry, the combined three of them have attended the finals 3 of the last 4 years. The finals period in the conference finals we've been that far. So I mean, I don't not necessarily the finals, but the conference finals. I'm
Conference
sorry,
finals.
conference
Right.
finals.
Fact.
And that
Fact.
and that's that goes a long way. That goes a long way when you have guys that have been that deep in the playoffs and they're still together as a core on that team. And it reminds me, like I was looking at some highlights and some clips from some of our rivalries from the '90s. It kind of reminds me of that time frame when you had a lot of physicality in the game. Both of our teams seem to we respect that physical nature of the game because I watched y'all series against Cleveland and the way y'all was bullying those boys around, the way the big men, mainly Mitchell Robinson and Julius Randle, was just doing work on Jared Allen and the other cat for Cleveland. So
Even Mobley.
yeah. I mean, punishing them, bullying them. But
Yeah.
I don't see y'all being able to do that same bully tactic on the biggest bullies on the block over here.
I don't
So
know. I don't know. Like I gotta say, man, like in that series, I was going back. I went back to the series. Um, we pretty much out rebounded you the whole series in
the
the four
season
games.
series, you mean you talking the season series,
Like
right?
the regular season
Yeah,
series. Yeah, the
regular
regular
season.
season
Yeah, y'all
series.
y'all did that. And a
We
matter of
we
fact, y'all did take the series
three
the
games to
season
one.
series 3-1. But if
Right.
you look, at those scores in the games, none of those scores were by more than 10 points.
Nah,
None of those games were by more than 10 points. And
they were all pretty close.
all of them, like two of your wins were by a basket, like
2 points.
2 points each.
Yeah.
So
The,
by no means is it gonna be a runaway either way. It kind of
mhm.
similar to our rivalries that we did have in the 90s. You
Yeah.
guys may have took like a lot of those, but those were some close, hard fought series. It's all of them. And they always came down to a basket. Like that year that PJ Brown flipped Charlie Ward over into the
Yo, I tell you, man, I always blame Pat Riley for that. I feel like Pat Riley has something to do with that low key. I feel
hey.
like he sent your man to put
Nah, I
Charlie
think
Brown down.
Charlie Ward, he barked up a tree that was too big for him to climb. I don't know what he was. I don't know what he thought he was doing, by even stepping to PJ. And at those, in those years, you were gonna have to see somebody. Like it
Oh
wasn't
yeah.
no, oh, hold me back, hold me back. Nah, it was everybody from each team coming at each other. So I remember Van Gundy grabbing a hold of Alonzo's leg when him and Charles Oakley was about to square it up.
Yo, that was crazy, man. That was that. Those are some crazy times, man. And I think that was like a whole different era. It was more of a competitive era. And like you
Yeah,
said, like if you look at the history behind it, we up, right? The Knicks are
yeah.
up in the series. Shout out to everybody in the chat, Anna, Darlene, what up, y'all?
Salute.
The Knick fan ladies in the building. Um, the series is tight, but I would say a lot of those games were always very close, very physical. On both sides, on both ends, by both teams. It,
And
it,
one thing also that's true about those series is those series were well coached,
yeah,
extremely well coached. We had two really high level coaches that were basically chess matching in the middle of a boxing match because
right,
our players were boxing. Like those guys were out there. The physicality was serious. And on
yeah,
the backside of it, you had Van Gundy and you had Pat Riley like back and forth in it with their chess game. So it was a very intense series from all levels, from the coaching level all the way down to the players and to a whole organizational standpoint to where y'all fans would travel. I mean, y'all travel everywhere, but when y'all came to Miami, y'all came to Miami. So it felt like our home crowd, like we had to fight against the
New
the
Yorkers,
invasion, so to speak. So it just built up for and made it even a more hostile rivalry. So
and
that's why I'm even looking more forward to this series right here.
nah, and I feel like as the years pass, right, as the years has passed, there's like more and more and more New Yorkers in Miami than ever before.
Oh yeah,
And you saw it this year in the regular season. I mean, it felt like it was MSG South down there.
yeah.
You know?
I see that, and on vice versa
Yeah,
because not that we come and take over the Garden. That'll probably never happen. But we've been showing up to the Garden. Our fan
yeah,
base has been showing up to the Garden in the past year or so, to where I hear "Let's Go Heat" cheers sometimes, or I hear that when we scored, the crowd, some of the crowd at least, is in a favor of the Heat. So it's starting to look like either we're traveling to or we're taking on a bigger fan base in New York than we had before.
nah, yeah,
So
it's gonna be yo. I say, it's gonna be a tough series. I think it's gonna be all about physicality and defense, in my opinion, man. Like it's whoever wins this series is gonna be the more physical, more defensive team. And y'all beat the Bucks, so that in itself was kind of impressive. Like even though Giannis didn't play in one of those games, that's still one of the hardest teams to beat. Like we played them this year and we didn't even beat them.
yeah, well, it's a matchup thing. We match up well against them. Like
Yeah, yeah,
we maybe the series before the last series we played them, they swept us. But prior
yeah,
to that, when we were in the bubble, we beat them in 5 games. A lot
Right.
of people don't remember that. Like en route for us to get to the finals, we knocked the Bucks off in 5 games with that same core that they have. So we just seem to have their number, especially when it comes to the playoffs because we have the right pieces. But as far as y'all, what's more intriguing about our series with y'all is that I feel like we're more evenly matched across the
Yeah.
board. The
Mm-hmm.
Bucks, they have a higher status and a higher standard because of their record, but
Right.
our team, the Heat and the Knicks this year, they are, I feel like, evenly matched. You guys have 3 guys that night after night we have to focus on. You guys have three
Right.
guys. We have 2 guys that for sure, but our third guy is always a wild card and an unpredictable player for y'all. That's why I think our advantage is in that we know what 3 guys we got a key in for y'all. Y'all know 2 of ours, but who is it going to be on a night to night basis? Is it going to be Duncan Robinson to drop 6 to 7 3-pointers? Is it going
Yeah.
to be Max Strus? Who's going to show up? Is it going to be Caleb Martin, who out of the blue might just go
Right.
crazy? Is it going to be Kyle Lowry having a throwback game? Is it, it's so many different possibilities that we can throw at y'all for that third option. And that's what we've been doing all year. That's been the Heat culture all year, is just whoever step up. Like, we have moment guys. We have guys who don't do the heavy lifting, but when that moment comes and the heavy lifters have to kick back and it's an important moment, we have moment guys built for that.
Right. Nah, and I think that in those 4 matches, y'all pretty much had Tyler Hero in all 4 of those games. So
That is
I think
true.
that's gonna make a difference. Him and Victor Oladipo, that's gonna be, so Duncan Robinson, I was telling one of my boys, I said, that's one guy that we definitely gotta watch out for because he can knock down that shot. He could be pretty dangerous.
Yeah.
That's why y'all gave him that big contract because he
Yeah, I mean, Duncan, he was a little streakier earlier in the season, but it seems like he's starting to catch fire when it's
yeah,
time to, because he showed up. He showed up when we needed him to show up in that
right.
last series. And that's something that we haven't really had that version of Duncan Robinson through the regular season in quite some time. So to see that in the playoffs, that's even more of a big piece of our favor right there.
Yeah.
And just to touch back on what you said, same thing about the Tyler Hero thing. And I was looking at that, and I did at first feel like, okay, without Tyler Hero, we may have issues in that scoring department.
Mm-hmm.
But when I looked at the series that we had with Milwaukee, we also had Tyler Hero during the games that we beat Milwaukee this season. However, with Jimmy Butler giving us 30 points or better in every win, every time we beat Milwaukee, Jimmy had 30 or better. With the one game that we beat y'all, Jimmy had 30 or better.
Yeah.
So if we have Jimmy being just Jimmy, just being who he is, just being playoff Jimmy, and anybody else on the roster, anybody who, okay, it's not Tyler Hero, but it could be Max, like I was saying. Okay, it's not Victor Oladipo, but it can be Kevin Love can come out there and get hot out of the blue. He's a championship player. We don't need these guys to do heavy lifting. We just need these guys to be in the moment. And I think the way that our team is built, it's built for the playoffs so that the heavy lifters can get us where we need to be. And then we have our moment guys to fill in the gaps. And I think we have that. So without Tyler Hero, yeah, I get it. We're going
Right.
to be missing points from that area. But any one of these other moment guys can step in and Jimmy can have a Jimmy night. And
Wow,
and
Jimmy had a great night actually in that game 3. He had 35, 4 and 9 with 4 steals. He went off in that game.
yeah,
He definitely gave us an issue in that game.
that's
Um,
what I was looking at too.
yeah, he
And
definitely
one of
gave us
those
a
and one of
problem.
those games that y'all played also, that y'all beat us by 2 points. The game on March 3rd, Julius Randle gave y'all 43 points.
Yeah, that's the one where he hit the game winning 3-point shot. Or not the game winning,
43,
but
yeah, 43 and 9. I
Yeah,
don't know that we're gonna now. I don't know what his status is or Julius Randle's status, but
he's questionable right now.
okay. So if he's questionable going into the game tomorrow, it's hard for me to believe he's gonna give me 43 points. So that just makes me feel at least a little bit more confident in the fact that we have close games. But look at the miraculous heroic effort that it took to win one of those close games, and I don't know that that guy who did that is going to be available for y'all, or
Well,
if he's
well,
going to be at that level to be able to do that.
I think my biggest thing with Julius Randle, right, because he kind of struggled in that series versus the Cavs because
But
he was dependent on he was dependent on the 3-point shot, and I would say practically the whole series. And then something triggered him in that last game before he got hurt. He started going back to the bully ball and driving to the basket.
mhm.
I will say this: if that's the version of Julius Randle we're gonna get in this series, I think y'all might be in trouble because in the minutes that he did play in that last game, and I think it was like 20 minutes or something like that. He put up good. He was going for a triple double before he twisted his ankle.
Yeah, I saw that. I
Yeah,
saw
yeah,
that, and
and
No doubt about it. Julius, if he's playing at a high level, he's going to be a handful for
right,
anybody. But also, when you look at Bam, and I want to talk about Bam Adebayo, we haven't really mentioned his name too much. But when
yeah,
you look at his performance in that last series by Bam standards, by most Heat fan standards, by most people who follow the Heat, that was below Bam average. That's not the Bam that we were expecting getting. I don't think that's the Bam he expected. The missing the easy chip shots in the paint, the defensive lapses that he was having at sometimes, some of the turnovers. I think something clicked towards the end of that game 6 in Milwaukee when Coach Spo switched Bam to the point. He moved Bam to the point guard. When he did that, it seemed to unlock something in Bam because from that point on, he finished that game with a triple double, quiet as kept. It
yeah.
was
I
a
saw
quiet
that.
it
I
was a
saw that.
quiet triple double. He finished that game. So that was a sign that, okay, something snapped. Coach Spo saw something in Bam that he wasn't getting before, and that seemed to unlock him. So I will say the likelihood of Bam playing as poor as we seen him playing last series, in this series again, is very low. And if Bam, can unlock who he was becoming in that series, in that last game, then y'all might be in a little trouble there, boy, because
Well, I think in I mean after what I seen from Mitchell Robinson and the defensive gems that he was putting up against the Cavs, against those Twin Towers and Jared Allen and Evan Mobley, man, he was abusing them dudes, bro.
that's
They,
fine. That he was, and I saw that, and that's
he
fine.
was, and Evan Mobley's like one of the best big men in the league, especially this year. So for Mitchell Robinson to do that, I think that's something to watch out. That's a nice little matchup.
I think
I
it'll
would
be a
say
nice matchup.
that's gonna be
Evan
a nice
Mobley and them boys,
matchup.
though, the lights was too bright for them. The lights was
Yeah,
too bright for them. They wasn't ready. I mean, Julius, he plays in the big city of New York City. The lights are never too bright for a guy like that. But
right.
uh, that same kind of reaction he got from Evan Mobley and the boys, he's not going to get from Bam. First of all, if Bam is running a point for a good majority of the game, and Julius Randle or Mitchell Robinson or whoever you choose to try to pick up Bam full court, tiring themselves out on the defensive end. By the time Bam gets into the offense, your big man is huffing and puffing a little bit. That's going to make it easier for him to do the turn fade lobs and the basically get into his rhythms. So it's interesting to see how Spo goes about that. Like I said, I saw him unlock that, and he played Bam for point guard for the most of the third and fourth quarter of that Milwaukee game. So if he continues to go that path, I think that might be a little caveat that y'all. I
Yeah,
don't
because
know how.
he'll what he'll do is what that'll do is it'll take Mitch out the paint. and
That's
we can
our
get them
goal.
out the paint. So
Exactly. Because
so
that's your advantage.
yeah, that'll be to y'all advantage. But I think defensively with the guys that we got on the court, I think we should be fine, man. Um, the one matchup that I'm looking forward to seeing is the matchup between Josh Hart and Jimmy Butler. That that
Okay.
that's a matchup
That's going to be a tough matchup for
yeah.
both because well, I would love to see it because I don't know what kind of experience Josh Hart has in playoff experience and playoff moments, but I know he's a pretty decent defender.
No, listen, he like since we got him, since making that trade for Josh Hart, I think he was like the missing link. Like he as soon as we got him, like we became a whole different team. Especially on the defensive end. His hustle is tremendous, bro. And
Mm,
I feel like he and that little Jimmy Butler and him, that's gonna be. I've seen some of their matchups. And they're really, really competitive matchups,
mm,
bro. Like I've seen them go back and forth with each other, and it's
okay.
gonna be something interesting, bro.
Does Josh start? Is he starting for y'all?
He started the last two games because Quentin Grimes got hurt. He had a shoulder contusion,
Okay.
so after that, he started the last two playoff games, and in the matter of fact, in the playoffs, man, he played really well. He played really well.
I
So
saw I saw I saw him doing this thing out there. I
yeah,
did see that. So
he
if
played
he's in the starting lineup, because I mean, if it's different story if Thibs chooses or elects for him to come in with the second unit, then he may be matched up with someone other than Jimmy. But if he is inserted in that starting lineup, I'm looking forward to see that back and forth between the two of them. I'm looking
yeah,
forward to see how Jimmy handles and reacts to that because he's just been defended by mostly bigger guards in that last series. Chris Middleton,
hmm
Giannis was on him for a stretch. Jrue Holiday, he torched Drew. By the way, he torched him, but
yeah, yeah,
he was defended by mostly bigger guards in that series or bigger perimeter players. So it's interesting to see how he's going to react to Josh Hart, who's more similar, I think, a similar stature, similar size. Jimmy may be a little bigger, but it's still going to be, a pretty evenly matched as far as size goes.
right.
And Jimmy usually relishes those situations. So
I wonder what's the matchup like. Like, what's the stats look like between him and Jimmy Butler?
that's
that's
something that's something to look up. That would be
Yeah,
something to check.
because yo, I'm telling you, I feel like it's a pretty even matchup. You know what I think might be the difference in this series? To be honest, I think the bench. I think the bench
Yeah,
might be make a difference in this series.
I feel like
Um,
the bench, and I think the underrated element of this series is going to be the coaching decisions. Like
right,
because the teams are so evenly matched, it can often come down to a strategy or a matchup or throwing the zone at a critical time or
right,
some defensive play. And I tell you one thing about Coach Spo is a master of drawing up plays. I mean, he can draw up some. I'm talking like with just 2 point this seconds on the clock or a play for certain situations where okay, I need to get a score and then I need to get a 2-for-1. He's a master at those 2-for-1 plays. He's a master at situational plays and strategy. So I feel like though they're both excellent coaches in their regard, I think Spo to me has a slightly better play calling scheme and offensive strategy, and I think that may also play a factor.
yeah, I think you're right. I think offensively, when it comes to our coach, I think I think Johnny Bryant is handling those affairs.
Yeah, yeah. Because I don't even think Thibs even
I
knows
don't
how
think
to even
Tibbs.
run an offensive
I
play.
think Tibbs.
You like, what is that? What is offense?
I think Tibbs is more. I think Tibbs is more a defensive minded coach. He's always been more of a defensive minded coach. But I
Yeah,
do think when it comes to, I think this year, I think he kind of like opened the gates where most years he doesn't. He's like, nah, you go be an assistant coach and do your assistant things. You know what I mean? But I think
yeah,
this year he kind of like opened up the door for Johnny Bryan. Was like, all right, listen, y'all gonna have you. I'm gonna need you this year because if you look at it, Johnny Bryant, man, he's always coming at the players and telling them where to do, where to go, how to do this, how to do that. So I feel like offensively, when it comes to that, I think Johnny Bryant. But you're right. Spoelstra is more of a well all around coach, and he does have championship experience, which I think Spoelstra, when it comes to coaching, he might have the edge over Coach Tommy T, just because of championship experience.
yeah. Just based off the championship experience to
Yeah,
me, and like I
yeah,
said, just the creativity and
right.
his offensive mind. Yeah, we have assistant coaches, but Spo draws up the X's and
Yeah,
O's. Like
yeah.
Spo is the guy who's running it. He's drawing it up. He's calling the minutes. He has all of that going for him. So and with all of our games being so close as they were, those decisions, those coaching decisions in the clutch usually can go a long way and carry you out. So,
That's a fact. I know you know this person. I know you know this person, man.
oh snap! Look at your boy. I see you. I see you, D. I
Yo,
see you,
me,
D.
me,
Shout out to
you
D.
with Dwayne, you, Dwayne, go back some years, man. We all know
Yeah.
each other in the same chat. We all used to chop it up, Knicks versus Heat. It was
Hey,
always
pull up, face ass. I see you. Why you sitting there? You sending messages. Why don't you pull up? I know you got you a camera phone or something. Show your face. But
yeah,
nah, man,
that's
we in
hilarious.
here now,
That's
chopping it up
hilarious. Yeah,
nicely.
we used to always go at it, man. I remember those years. It was fun though. It was fun talk, man. It was
It was
always,
real fun. It was more fun. It was more fun for me because
yeah, of
we had the
course.
big three at the time.
That was like, and I ain't gonna hold you. I ain't gonna hold you. Like, I've always been a LeBron fan, right? I've always
Yeah,
been a LeBron fan. So, when LeBron kind of spun us and chose y'all, I ain't gonna lie, I was salty.
yeah. A
Yeah,
lot
I
of
was
people were
salty,
Bulls fans
bro.
too. Y'all thought the Bulls fans thought they was gonna get him. Y'all thought y'all was gonna get him.
Yeah, I thought and from what I heard though, like from what I remember, he kind of like didn't even have like an interview with us. He ain't even like even give us a shot from what I
Nah,
remember correctly.
he gave y'all
And
the
I don't blame
decision.
him because I remember how front office was at the time. We our front office was atrocious,
Yeah,
and
couldn't compete with that Pat Riley swag.
nah, like Pat Riley, Pat Riley's Pat Riley, you know what I mean? And there was no way, we was gonna be able to pull that off anyway because of the front office that we had, man. It was just horrible, and
Was Carmelo there at the time?
was nah.
He wasn't there
Actually,
yet.
we wound up signing Amari Stoudemire instead.
Okay.
We
And
wound
see,
up
Amari
signing
was
Amari.
not the recruiter that Dwayne Wade was at that time. Amari was,
Exactly.
oh yeah,
Exactly.
and Dwayne Wade was a recruiter. He
Nah,
recruited
yeah, of
LeBron.
course.
He
Dwayne
basically brought
Wade.
LeBron to Pat Riley and was like, "Here, sign him."
Nah, listen. I and cause again, I was a big, LeBron James fan, and once he did that, I'm like, man, I can't root for you, bro. You playing for the ops.
A
Like I
lot of
can't.
people felt that way about him. That's why we were really hated like the first year, the first couple of years that LeBron was there. That
Hmm.
we were like every arena we went into, we were like the villains. Like I never
Yeah.
felt that much hate. It was people online that weren't even basketball fans that were just like, oh, I hate the Heat. I hope they lose. I hate them. I'm like, yo, where did we get all?
Right, but
And for me, as a Heat fan, with just we had just won a championship in 2006 with Dwayne Wade in his third year, and Shaquille O'Neal was on that team also. So we weren't getting that kind of hate at that time.
yeah,
It
yeah.
wasn't until when LeBron came, then all of a sudden we had the target on our back, we had the bullseye on our back. So it was pretty much hate in every arena until maybe LeBron's like third year in Miami. I think then by then people was like, okay, this is what it is. So they laid off of him a lot, but we took a lot of hate, and we still
Y'all
ended up with a
did.
couple of chips out of that
Y'all
shit. So
did. I ain't gonna hold you. Y'all did. Y'all did. I ain't gonna lie. I was one of those haters. I was
yeah,
hating.
we got it from everywhere. Hey, it
I was
wasn't just
one
you,
of those
brother.
haters.
It wasn't just you. There's a whole site called don'thatemiami.com. And it
That
started
was
during that
hilarious.
time because every y'all random people was just hating on Miami. It's like
Yeah, I
he
remember
made
that.
a decision that sent the ripple effect throughout not just the sports world, but the world, period, the world in general. Like so many people felt the effects of LeBron making the decision to come to Miami. People who wasn't even affiliated with basketball, felt a certain type of way about it.
Nah, yeah, it's a fact. It's a fact. But it is what it is, man. Y'all, it worked out for y'all. Y'all got some champions. I think, but y'all got like two
We
championships.
got 2 out of the 4 years he was there.
Yeah, two out
We
of
got 2
four.
out of the 4. I mean, and
It's
those
a
were his
shame.
prime years. Those were LeBron's prime years that we got out of him. Yeah, he still went on to win another championship with Cleveland and LA, but the LeBron that we had in
Was the best
Miami,
LeBron.
that LeBron was catching windmill alley oops from like
Half
out.
court.
Yeah, it was ridiculous.
I
Yeah,
remember that. I remember that. Him and Dwayne were it was a show.
it was a show before the game, like in the layup line, instead of doing layups and drills, we're having a
Yeah,
dunk contest. These
yeah, I
boys are
remember that. I remember
throwing them
that.
off the glass, off the backboard, reverse windmill, tomahawks. I'm like, what? This is the pregame.
Yeah, nah, LeBron was definitely different in Miami.
Yeah.
And I agree. To me, those were his best years.
Yeah. I
Um,
feel like we got the best years
yeah,
from
yeah,
LeBron.
y'all
Like
got the
we
best years. Y'all got the real, like, and plus, I mean, y'all recruited Chris Bosh, Dwayne. Y'all had
yeah,
Dwayne
yeah.
Wade.
Bosch was there. Shout
You
out
know
to
what I mean?
CB. Yeah, CB was
Yeah, y'all,
huge.
y'all was able to recruit Ray Allen over there. You
Ray
know,
came over. Yep.
yeah.
Ray Allen, Chris
So
Anderson.
Chris
We
Anderson.
had, I mean, so many guys, man. Like the list goes on and on. Even
Meanwhile, the Knicks went and traded their whole team for Carmelo Anthony, and that shit put us back 15 years.
yeah, because they didn't get him no help. I mean, no,
And
Melo didn't have really no help. And during
nah,
that time, I mean, until Jeremy Lin Sanity came along, and that was like a glimmer of hope. I think that was the last year when we played each other in the playoffs. It was when y'all
yeah.
had Jeremy Lin.
And then Jeremy Lin sat out talking about I don't want to get hurt, because I want to get paid. And
I
he
remember.
sat out when he was like 90% ready to play. He was
Yeah,
like, "Nah, I don't wanna ruin my chances of getting paid." And he sat out the playoffs, and I think y'all scraped us that year. I
yeah, that
forgot how many
was.
games. I think it was y'all finished it in 5 or 6 games or
Yeah,
something
it was
like
a
that.
short. It was a quick series. It was a quick one.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
got y'all up out of there.
yeah,
Uh,
yeah, yeah. It
but
was.
y'all team, I think all y'all had was Melo at the time. I think
Yeah,
Melo
we
was
only had Melo and
on
Stoudemire.
and Amari. Yeah,
Y'all won that series 4-1. Yeah, actually, y'all won that series in five.
so that was a gentleman's sweep. Yeah, I figured that one
Yeah,
wasn't too
yeah,
close.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Y'all won in five.
But like I said, that
Four
wasn't.
one.
It didn't really even feel like a Heat Knicks series. Like to me, at least when I watched it, it didn't have that same feeling of the matchups in the '90s, and it
Mm,
doesn't even have the feeling that I'm getting out of this one right now. Like
yeah,
we had some really good moments, but for some reason this just feels different. This moment, it feels like there's a different feel to it. Like it's nostalgic, but at the same time we both have something to prove this year. Like
that's a
y'all
fact.
haven't been there in a while, and we had just been there. We were one Jimmy Butler 3-pointer away from the NBA Finals last year.
I
One
remember
three
that.
pointer away, and here we are now. And you guys are trying to prove that y'all belong because this is y'all first time being there in many years. So
In many years since 2013. I will say, you know, I will say that this front office is been huge for us, man, because for years, I
really,
think
Dolan, is that y'all guy?
he's our owner. He's our owner. But he put, I think after Phil Jackson left,
Hmm.
but Phil Jackson kind of started it off like, whereas he kind of told James Dolan, listen, you need to step to the side and let me run shit. So ever since Phil Jackson did that, I kind of felt like he put people in place to run the team, and now he just sit back and let people run the team the way you should. Not like before when we had Donnie Walsh and he was telling James Dolan, listen, let's not trade for Melo. Let's keep our pieces and we'll sign him in the off season. And James Dolan was like, no, pull the
Should have
plug right
listened to
now,
him.
trade for
Yeah.
Melo. And like right now we don't have that. Right now he's actually letting our front office work, and by him doing that, he put some people in place that kind of changed, the culture. We got Coach Tommy T. Then he went and this year, they got a steal in Jalen Brunson. That was a steal. No,
Yeah,
nobody can
it,
tell me else.
I still don't know how y'all pull that magic trick off. Like,
Yeah, like
how y'all just randomly end up with Jalen Brunson one day? I was like, I went to bed. Next morning, I woke up, y'all had Jalen Brunson. I was like, how in the
yeah.
hell? Like,
I think
yeah,
I think him and Isaiah Hartenstein, those were the two key signings. As Jalen Brunson to me was the signing of the year. I mean, for
I
me,
mean, low key, he's y'all. I mean, he's arguably.
our best player, our best player.
I was just gonna say he
Of
arguably is your best player,
he's
or at
our
least
he's
your most important. If
our
he ain't,
most important.
if he
And,
ain't the best, he's definitely the most important. From what I've seen from y'all this year, that's been the difference in your team. It's
and
not to
it's a
me. It's
point
not
guard.
Yeah, it's not Julius Randle. Discovering something about himself. It's not R.J. Barrett finding out that he knows how to shoot a jump shot now. It's not any of those other role player Mitchell Robinson looking like Frankenstein. Now, it's not like him realizing that he can get double digit rebounds all of a sudden. It's none of that. It's Jalen Brunson. He's the guy for y'all. So it's very key how Spo chooses to deal with him. I'm looking forward
Yeah,
to that if we're gonna go into our traditional zone to neutralize him, but he's very savvy at getting in those gaps of the zone. Like if anybody can get into the gaps and find the little holes in the pockets of the zone, it's Jalen Brunson.
yeah,
So I really feel like we may need to do a man-to-man scheme on him just to kind of keep him some degree in check. Don't let him just dictate where he wants to get in, and because once he gets to doing that, that's when he's really tough to deal with. But if
and
we have a strong defender to man him up and body him and put physicality on him, I think we can neutralize a lot of his game, and that's going to be key for us.
I think to be honest with you, the only guy on that team that I can think of that would give maybe a problem defensively, I would be Jimmy Butler. Other than that, I don't. To be honest with you, I don't see nobody else
Bingo.
on
That's
that team that can really stop Jalen Brunson. He's gonna be a problem.
I agree with you. It's going to have to be. It's gonna. I feel like it's gonna have to be Jimmy, but Spo in the series that we played against y'all, Spo really used Jimmy for Randall a lot. Like Jimmy played a lot on Julius
He
Randall,
did.
which to me it puzzled me a little bit at first because I'm thinking Jimmy is not a power forward. I mean, Jimmy can defend, most players, but do we really want Jimmy to be expending that much energy on Julius Randall, who's a high volume scorer, high volume shooter? We're using a lot of Jimmy's energy on that to where on the
Mhm.
offensive end, Jimmy's going to have to give a lot more. So I'm really interested to see if Spo does something different, perhaps put Jimmy on Jalen so that he can be a little bit more assertive on defense instead of waiting to react like he has to do with Julius Randle. So That's going to be huge. But I think either way, we're going to be ready. If Spo does go to the zone against Jalen Brunson, then I think we have to go to a non-traditional zone, the zone that we put the bigs at the top and we put the
Gotcha.
guards at the
Mm,
bottom of the zone.
right.
And we use that a lot too. So if we have Bam at the
Play
top
up
of the
top.
zone, then that could disrupt your boy. What's your point guard again?
Jalen Brunson.
Jalen Brunson. That could disrupt him a little bit if we put Bam at the top of that zone, and
The
that
thing, the
that might
thing with
work for
Jalen,
us. Because
the thing with Jalen Brunson is that he's so, to me, he's so smooth with it, right? Like I was watching that Cavs series, and they was putting all type of players on him. Like they was like, yo, they put Karis LeVert on him. They put all these dudes on him, bro. He was cooking all of them, all of them. And then Matt, and and I'm pretty sure you know this. The Cavs were the best defensive team in basketball in the regular season. They were number one, you know. And Jalen Brunson took all, because they say he was the guy who he was too small, and when the rumor was that once you put a big body on him, he couldn't handle that. But this year he kind of proved that wrong, man. They
he,
they was throwing guys 6'8", 6'9". They even put Jared Allen on him, and
yeah,
he crossed him up, took a step back, and banged the three on him. I'm like, bro, I don't know, man. Like if you
yeah.
don't,
I mean that is true. That is true.
oh
He
yeah,
was
what's goody,
he
bro?
was cooking Cleveland. I mean, y'all team overall was cooking Cleveland. Y'all had a relatively easy time with Cleveland. A big part of that, I'm not taking nothing away from Cleveland, but outside of Donovan Mitchell, they have almost zero playoff experience. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't think they've even ever sniffed. And these are young guys. These guys, a lot of these guys are in their 20s, like the lower half of their 20s.
Hmm.
Y'all had with that, but how are y'all gonna react when you play against a team in the playoffs that is a lot more seasoned and we won't go away? Like what happens when the lead stays at 10 and it's chipped away and you guys don't have that feeling of dominance that you had against Cleveland? Because like I said, we have a lot of experience and that counts for a lot. And when the games get to the point where it could either be a blowout or we stay in it, we always usually stay in it. So that plays rough on the psyche of the other team because the other team is like, damn, they just won't go away. Like, are these boys just won't? So all we need for y'all to do at that point is have one mental lapse, one little 8-0 run or one little, 10-0 run that we can go on, and then the tides turn. Because if you look at the numbers, the Bucks led in the majority of that series. They had the lead, the
Yeah.
majority of the series, and we beat them in 5. So that
Right.
just says that we stay right there with you, stay right there with
Hmm.
you.
Hmm.
And then when it's crunch time, when y'all make that little chess move mistake, we flip the tables and we end up winning. And
Yeah.
that's what I think is going to come into a big factor too in this series because Jalen Brunson is the guy that has all the experience for y'all in the playoffs for the most part.
Yeah, Jalen Brunson. But I think that what my thing is, defense. I think we got some pretty good defenders on our team. I feel we got the number the quickly Emmanuel quickly in the playoffs this year so far. He's number one defensive rating guard in the playoffs coming
Yeah.
off the bench. So we're
Y'all
gonna
do got a
need
good
guys.
defensive team. Y'all have a lot of individual good defenders.
Yeah, but as a team though, we play good defense. Like we was giving Cleveland problems, especially when Josh Hart started after Grimes got hurt. But don't sleep on my man Quentin Grimes, baby. That kid he's a really good defender, bro. Even though he got hurt and he struggled offensively. I will say that in the
Mhm.
series in the playoff before he got hurt, he offensively he was terrible, and that's my guy. But I gotta call it how I see it. He
But
was terrible.
he's gonna have to be on though, because y'all gonna have to the same way you said people were throwing people at the last team y'all played were throwing all kind of defenders at Jalen Brunson. Y'all gonna have to throw a lot of defenders at Jimmy. Because it ain't just gonna be one person that's just gonna think they're gonna hold down Jimmy Butler for the whole game.
But you're gonna need other guys to step up. You're gonna need Strauss to step up.
Oh
You're gonna
yeah,
need, yeah,
definitely,
those guys are
definitely.
gonna
And
have to
Bam,
step up
Bam,
big time, bro.
Bam is definitely not going to be that same Bam from last series. He's going to definitely be the Bam that we know. So he's
Hmm.
going to be there, and Struce or Duncan or Lowry's experience or Caleb Martin. Like I said, it could be any one of those moment players that I
Yeah,
think are seasoned for that moment. They
yeah,
ain't gonna have to give us like 20 or 30. They just gonna have to probably give us a solid 12 to 15.
that's a fact. Yeah, that's a fact.
You know,
Yeah, you
that's
definitely
it.
gonna need that. You definitely gonna need that. But there's another player that I need y'all to put focus on. I need, yeah, y'all gotta watch out for Obi
Obi
Toppin, man.
Toppin. I knew you was gonna say it. I knew it. I knew you've been big on Obi. I watched some of your other shit when you was talking about Obi. So
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, man.
and he's
Listen.
added. You know what? He's added a jump shot now, a 3-pointer to his arsenal. At first,
Mhm.
I don't think he. I just knew him as a dunker or as a leaper, a rebounder. But now this cat is stepping out and shooting threes now.
Yeah, he listen, in the beginning of the year he was struggling to knock down a shot. Coach Tommy T didn't really have, I would say, didn't have enough confidence in him. So he was playing him like 15 minutes, but anytime he did something wrong, yeah man, you already know how Coach Tib is. He's
Yeah,
yanking him out the game.
yeah,
He would
yeah.
yank him out the game, bro. But then like towards the end of the year, when Julius got hurt, and he's like, man, I got no other choice. Your man just, I don't know what hit him. Like he got comfortable. He found his stride,
Did he?
and he
So
started,
he's
he started, peaking. And I would say when you peak that's peaking at the right time in the
hmm
playoff. So
Yeah,
then in the playoffs, I mean, if you look at the number, he wasn't putting up crazy numbers, but when you needed that bucket,
yeah,
he was getting it.
yeah.
And
I saw that a lot with Obi.
yeah,
I saw him making a lot of clutch shots,
mhm,
a
mhm.
lot of momentum changing shots. I saw that in him all this season long. So we definitely are gonna have to have some focus on him. And with a lot of zone that we play, he better make those shots. He better not just all of a sudden turn into a pumpkin just because
Yeah.
because there's that too. Some guys they look like they're ascending, and then they get to this ceiling and they get to this place where okay they can't go past it. They can't get past that glass ceiling. So for y'all's sake, y'all better hope that he hasn't hit that and peaked out, and
Nah,
that's the because he's gonna have to be a little bit more special than that in order to really, really have a stronger impact in this series. Because this
no, that's
series
a
is
fact.
gonna be a physical one, and
No,
it's
it
gonna
is.
be
It is.
well
And
coached.
and and offensively, I'm gonna need Emmanuel quickly to step up. I think maybe in his last two games he played okay, but in the beginning his shot wasn't dropping. You could tell he was like, he had the, I don't know how you call it. Maybe like you said, the lights was too bright for him at first.
Yeah, yeah. Lights was too
Like
bright. It was
it
too
was
bright,
too
and
bright for him at first.
we'll live with that. We'll live with
Yeah,
Emmanuel quickly jacking up threes or taking long twos or whatever it is he feels like he needs to do. We will live with that. The three guys that we need to really really focus on is Julius Randle, R.J. Barrett, and your point guard
but
Jalen Brunson.
I will say this: y'all got to put a body on Mitchell Robinson,
Oh,
bro.
Mitch, yes, that goes without a doubt.
And
Let
and
me.
I'm
I mean,
telling you, on the offensive end, your man
yeah.
is an offensive rebounding machine, bro. You
Yeah,
got it.
I know that, and
Yeah,
we sometimes we had issues with that against Clint Capella in the playing game,
yeah,
but there was a different strategy being used, and I think Spo's a good enough coach to adjust so that we don't get creamed like that on the offensive glass, and he uses schemes and different things for guards to get rebounds. That's how you see if you look at our stats, a lot of our guards be getting 5 rebounds a plus.
yeah,
And,
yeah.
and we're
We
doing
out
that against
rebounded y'all. We
and
out
Brook
rebounded y'all offensively in the regular season.
and true,
That's
but
key.
Brooke Lopez is a 7'2" center, and our guards combined were going rebound for rebound with him,
Facts.
with Brooke Lopez. So this is a different ball game in the playoffs. One, and then two, our
Hmm.
guards definitely rebound. That's one thing our guards do. Max Strus, he hits the boards. Jimmy hits the boards. Duncan Robinson even gets in there and gets rebounds too. That's one thing about our guards, because we're a smaller team. We have to, like, our guards. It's imperative that our guards rebound the ball, because Bam is like pretty much the main big man that we play. And with him being the load of the big man offense, our guards have to chip in, and that's what they do. That's why we have such a gritty team and such a grinded out style of a team, because we have undersized players that are overcompensating by doing shit that guards usually shouldn't have to do.
Right. Yeah, y'all got, and who's y'all backup center?
Oh, we usually go with Zeller. We either go with Zeller or Yurtseven, or we'll play Love. Like we usually
Oh, that's
play.
right. Y'all got Love. That's right.
Yeah,
Kevin
we'll play
Love.
Kevin Love most of the time at the center next to Bam, or he may come in and give Bam a breather or whatever. But it's Cody Zeller and it's Kevin Love. Those are the guys that play center for us. Sometimes they'll throw in Highsmith when we want to go deep into our big man bench. We'll throw in guys like Highsmith or Orlando Robinson or guys like that. But for the most part, those are our big men. So you know what you're gonna get.
Nah, that's a fact, Darlene. We got some pretty good guards that rebound too. One of them being Josh Hart. Josh Hart is a tremendous rebounder, bro. He's one of those guys that I think in his last game, I forget. I think he had like double offensive rebounds in that last game. Hold on,
Okay.
I gotta check. Hold on.
That's what but that's big, and that's what also makes it a more gritty type of series, because our guards hit the glass. And when you have guards that are competing to fight for loose balls and scrap and get and try to get every single effort possession, then that's what's going to make for a
See?
more physical and intense
Yeah, I
series.
mean,
So,
look. You got Josh Hart with 10 rebounds. He had 5 offensive, 5 defensive. Then you had Grimes had 5 rebounds. Barrett had 4. Oh, this is not even a oh no, that was game 1. That was game 1. Let me see, game 4. I think it was game 4, but he did have 10 rebounds in that game in game 1. Um
rebounding is for us is so huge, because if our guards aren't getting the job done on the offensive end, if they hit the glass, then is they still contributing, and that's still it's going moving forward to us taking a W. When Max the last game that Max played, like that last game, he only went 2 for 6, but he had 8 huge rebounds, like eight rebounds from a Max Strus is that's huge. Like he had
oh,
almost as many rebounds as like some of our starting bigs. So
yeah. Nah, and I think we pretty even in that matchup because yo, Josh Hart, he be getting those loose balls that hurt you. Like
yeah,
it hurts, bro. Like it drains the team out. And that last game he had 12. In game 5, he had 12 rebounds. 3 of
yeah,
them offensive. You know what I mean? So our guys, we got a really good rebounding team, man. Like we really and we abused them on the rebounds, offensively, defensively. Like we really abused those guys in the playoffs.
yeah. I
So
see that. I see like your guards definitely get rebounds,
yeah, we get down with the gritty.
but they almost have to, because
Yeah.
I'm like when I'm looking at the numbers, like if you look at the game where we beat y'all this year 127-120, like
Hmm.
Julius Randle only has 6 rebounds.
Yeah, I
Mitchell,
remember that game.
Mitchell Robinson didn't have double digit rebounds. He had 8 rebounds.
Yeah.
Quentin Grimes only had 2 rebounds. Josh Hart, he gave you 4 rebounds. and we ended up winning that game by 7. So
Yeah, I remember that game
if
definitely.
if our guards can out rebound your guards, then that's a factor too
And
for
see,
us.
and
But
that was in that game, right? But you look at the other
yeah,
games,
the other games, yeah, exactly.
game
That's
like
what I'm
game,
saying. That's the key. That's the key for
yeah,
us.
because
Because when we don't,
game one, we pretty much out rebounded y'all by 11.
yeah,
Yeah, see, our Barry had 8 rebounds, Quickly had 6 rebounds, Grimes had 4, and then you had Hartenstein coming off the bench with 10 rebounds. That's another guy y'all gotta watch out for. Isaiah Hartenstein, man, that dude's another guy. He defensively, he be stepping up. Um, then in game two, we out rebounded y'all. I think it was I think that one was a little close. Y'all out rebounded us in that game. We still won, but y'all out rebounded us in that game,
and if it's
39,
the same
34,
game, I'm looking at like y'all beat us, and one of the game y'all beat us by 9
20. Oh, it was actually 28, 28. Yeah,
on
20.
March the 29th. And that March the 29th game, we had some of the worst scoring. I don't think you'll ever see this. Listen to these box scores. Jimmy Butler, 12 points for the game.
Wait. Which game was that one? Let me see.
March 29th. Jimmy uh yeah. Jimmy Butler, 12 points. When is that ever going to happen again in the playoffs?
Nah,
Uh
that's not happening in the
Bam
playoffs. That's
Adebayo,
not
9
happening.
points for the
That's not
game.
happening in the playoffs, Jimmy.
And
Unless Josh Hart does something to put the clamps on him, that I doubt that would happen.
I just don't see how that could possibly happen again like that.
Nah,
Uh
especially not after the series he had. Oh, that was the last game.
we
Yeah,
shot 44% from the field.
yeah, y'all did.
We shot horribly that game. Look, our free throw percentage was at 64%. We only got a total of 35. There's no way we'll ever play that poorly of a game again. I don't know what the heck was going on in that game, but unless, like you said, unless some Josh Hart or somebody does some miraculous abracadabra job to make our entire team turn into a group of pumpkins, which I don't know how that happens. I see this being a more grinded out. I think those games are outliers. Those games that the score was more than like 10, if that ever was, those are outlier games. The majority of our games are close games within 10 or less, and it comes down to key moments at the end of the game. Yeah,
I,
that's basically how this is going to work out for this series.
yeah, it's always gonna come down to the end, bro. It's gonna come down to who can finish the game better. You know what I mean? And who can knock down the shots when you need it. You know,
Yeah,
because like you said, I think the only game that was we won by 9 points. Other than that, everything else was 2, 2, 7, and 9.
exactly.
So every game this year was pretty much, on the same side.
It come
Even though
down to
we
like the
even
last couple of possessions.
yeah, even though we won the series, it was still a tough series. It was a tough series.
And that's true for all of our series is throughout the history of our rivalry.
Yeah, man.
Though it looks like y'all may have had more of the
More
series
wins.
victories, but
Hmm.
all of them were close.
No,
All of
yeah,
them came down to a last possession or something real close. So as
no,
far
that's
as
a
this
fact.
series, what I'm gonna go as far as a prediction, because I'm gonna, we all have to give our picks before the game tomorrow. So I'm gonna go a 7-game series, which is what I'm hoping for and I'm praying for because this series deserves to be 7 games. And I'm taking my Heat in the 7 games, basically coming down to the coaching of Spo, the defense of our team and our team culture, and Jimmy Butler making key plays when we need him to. I see that. I see that being a factor in the overall in my decision for the 7 game.
I got I got the Knicks. I got the Knicks. I got the Knicks in five. To
Ooh,
be honest with you,
disrespectful. Oh,
I'm very,
wow.
I'm very confident after what I seen.
Disrespectful. Okay.
Listen, after what I seen, and listen, I could be wrong, right? I could be wrong. Um, I've had my times when I've been wrong,
Yeah,
but I just
this is definitely gonna be one of them because
listen. I the way the Knicks have been playing, you know, the way they played against the Cavs, they everybody had us losing to the Cavs in five. They didn't even have us, winning the series. Um, I feel like Jalen Brunson is gonna be the key to this series. I feel like as
disrespect.
as a team, if we can keep rebounding the way we rebounding, it's gonna be hard for y'all to beat us because the way Mitchell Robinson was eating on them boards, it was looking bad for Cleveland. Um,
The disrespect.
but I feel like I feel like in that last series, Coach Tommy T stepped up and he was making coach's decisions that kind of helped us win. Even when he saw Julius Randle not having a good game, he sat him on the bench and was like, "Yo, Obi, go do your work." You know what I mean?
Five
He was
games,
making
though, Kev.
adjustments.
5 games, Kev.
Five
5 games.
games, bro. I'm
That's
saying
just
it.
that's disrespect. So you've seen nothing that we did in that series
Listen,
against Milwaukee to make you
listen.
think
I
that we
saw.
can't extend this series and that we might come around and beat y'all in 5. I'm trying to
Hey,
be,
listen.
to be
Anything can
honest.
happen. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. But I feel very confident. I feel I feel as a team, as a complete overall team, I feel like we got the edge. I feel like we got a better bench than
I
y'all.
feel like y'all have better starting five. Like y'all starting five may have better talent or more talent than us, but I like I said, we've been to the conference finals. Those three guys, Jimmy and Bam, as well as Kyle Lowry, we've been to the conference finals 3 of the last 4 years. Like
Right.
that counts for a whole lot more than I think you're giving credit for. Plus the fact
Nah,
that we're a lot more evenly matched than you. I mean, yeah, you saying that y'all have the better bench, y'all have the better starting five, but facts are facts, numbers are numbers. We're an evenly matched team. Like we
I
are
feel you.
evenly matched. And it's going to come down to intangible factors. It's going to come down to those moment players that are there and bred for that moment. And I feel like we have the better guys when it comes to that. Like we have
Okay.
more trusted and proven guys who've made big shots in bigger moments. So that's why I'm saying okay, 7 games. But the truth be told, if we get playoff Jimmy that we just got last series, and Bam is even a shell of who he really is, then we will beat y'all, and it'll be a short series. We could gentlemen
Well,
sweep
I
y'all in
mean,
5 if we
the
get that.
the one thing that y'all gonna have to worry about big time is Jalen Brunson, bro. Jalen Brunson is the
I'm
guy
not
that y'all
second
gonna
guessing
have to stop him.
Jalen. We have, and at the end of the day, we have a guy who's willing to do whatever it takes and defend anybody he has to defend. Don't forget, Jimmy Butler was playing defense on Giannis for some of those possessions too.
Hmm.
So if Jimmy needs to defend Jalen Brunson for a few possessions to keep him he will do that. I feel like we have that guy, that that two-player guy who can turn it on either side of the basketball at any given moment. And that's in the playoffs. That's what it's all about. You can
Nah,
have a
you
great
right.
point guard. You can
You
have a great big man. But if you have that guy who can go both ways.
right.
Shout out to my son who told me when to say pause and how to use it. Yeah. But when you have a guy who can play well on both ends of the basketball in the playoffs, that's
I
what
feel
these
you.
moments are really about. And we have that. I don't know that y'all, I mean, you say you got Josh Hart, but he's not a Jimmy Butler.
He's
So
not a Jimmy Butler, but I think that if we get a healthy Julius Randle, a healthy Julius Randle where he's gonna be able to play like the way he did in that last game, and then you get a hungry Jalen Brunson the way he's been playing, and then you get a RJ Barrett playing the way he was playing in the last 4 games, y'all gonna have your hands full, bro. Cause then
We'll have our hands
now
full
not only
if
that,
they're all clicking at that time, if they're
but
all
this is what
clicking
I'm
together.
saying.
But I don't know. I haven't seen like everybody them all clicking like that at one time. That's making me feel like y'all gonna beat us in 5 games. I mean, yeah, y'all do have really good individual players. You have really great individual players. Our players have been playing in this system now, running to 4 years now, 4 to 5 years. Our same core players in this same system. And when it comes to playoff time, which we have been to 3 of the last 4 years. When it comes to that time, we know how to operate. We know when not to let the moment get too big because maybe y'all punked and beat up on a Cleveland team that just wasn't ready for that moment. But what happens when you get a step further and around further, and now the expectations are even more, and you're playing against a team who's been there before and who's done that. Like this is not new. So all that punking us and it's not
Well,
going to happen. It's
I
not going
mean,
to work.
you got to remember one thing though, chill. We all our players, other than Jalen, there's only 3 players on our team that's new this year. That's Jalen Brunson, Isaiah Hartenstein, and Josh Hart. Everybody else is they know the system. They've been in the system since Coach Tommy T has been there. You know
That's
what I
true.
mean?
They have been in that system. They've
They
been in the
so
system,
so
but
so
they
you
haven't.
know
But not on this stage though.
no. I'll give you that. I'll give you that 1,000%. This is gonna be the first time they're gonna be and where the lights is gonna be on them. It's
This
gonna be
moment
the
is
first
big. This
time.
is a big moment for those
No, it
boys.
is. It's a huge moment. Pause. It's a huge moment. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And is these are the different lights. But when you got a guy like Jalen Brunson, right, who's been there before,
yeah. He has.
he's been there before.
He
That's
has.
all you need. All you need is that one guy to lead your team, and we got that guy. And we one of the youngest teams in the league. We got some hungry, good young players that are dogs. They play good defense. They're solid defenders. Or the whole team. You know, um, defensively on their own and as a team. You know what I mean? So I feel like even if you got Quentin Grimes coming off the bench and you got IQ Quentin Grimes, um, um, uh, uh, Obi and those guys coming off the benches, y'all gonna have a problem, bro. Because those guys defensively, that second unit, they'll put the clamps on you, bro, real
In
quick.
my opinion, I agree that y'all have better individual defenders than we do.
Right.
But I will disagree that y'all have better team defense than we do. I feel like our team defense is elite when it's in the playoffs. In the playoff levels, our team defense, our rotate. I'm not necessarily saying that we give up the fewest amount of points.
The
I'm
facts.
saying when you look at our defense and our rotations, when that ball swings from left to right and you see our back end pause rotating over left and like back and forth, we have some of the best ball recovery in the league. Like we get there, we close out. Like our defenders, when y'all catch the three, we're not running out there like we're closing out like a classic 1989 in
Yeah,
your
I feel you.
stance. Like
I
we're
feel
closing
you.
out on everything, on all shots. So it's not gonna be just open target practice for y'all
Nah.
shooters. Y'all are gonna have to put the ball on the ground, on the floor, and attack the basket. That's how y'all gonna have to beat us because we're not gonna let y'all just sit there and just bombs away on us all day. Like our rotations, our defensive rotations is way too quick. If you haven't seen, you definitely need to watch that because we like Max and Duncan and all those guys are not super fast guys, speed wise. But when it comes to the defensive back cuts and the rotations and all of that, those boys get there.
But
And
you
that's
gotta
what makes up
remember,
for our individual deficiencies on defense.
too, we got guys that'll take it to the basket. Most of our guys will take it to the basket on you. Um, Julius Randle will put the ball and take it to the basket on you. You know, Jalen Brunson, R.J. Barrett, all those guys that take it to the basket on you. We're not. Me honestly, I don't think we're a good 3-point shooting team. I could be wrong. You know, me personally, I like for the Knicks to be more aggressive and attack the basket. And if you know a guy could knock down a 3-point shot here and there, I'll take it. But
And
we
we
have to.
not either. Like we just shot a lot of threes in this last series against Milwaukee, but through the regular season, we weren't that great of a 3-point shooting team.
Yeah.
But I mean, we still were thugging games out enough to get into where we got into. Like we still managed to get to that play in 8 and then make our way to where we are now. So even with that, like it it plays a huge factor. I don't know that we're gonna still see the same level of play from Jimmy for the rest of the playoff series, but all I will say is that if Jimmy just gets a fraction of help from anybody else, Jimmy, that version of Jimmy doesn't have to show up every night. If
Yeah.
we can just get half of Bam of who he really is, or just anything from anybody else, because our defense is so good that it can literally keep us in a game until the very end of the game, until like the key moment. So if we get anything from anybody, and that's what makes us such a dangerous team. That's what makes us so dangerous. It's the fact that our defense is just that good. Because if you look at our players, Bam and Jimmy is really, we only have one real high volume scorer. So that means what's keeping us in the game is our defense. Like
Defense.
our defense is that good that it will keep us close enough to beat any team in the league. And that's why they were saying nobody wants to see Miami in the playoffs. Nobody wants to see that Miami team in the playoffs. It's because of that. Our defense is that good. And now with Jimmy playing at this level, if we get anything from anybody, Max, Duncan, Kevin Love, Kyle Lowry, Caleb Martin, any one of those, like 12, 15-point bursts from anybody, this could be over earlier than the 7 that I predicted.
But you're gonna have to get something out of those guys for sure. But I feel like we are pretty
I like
well
the odds.
defensive rounded team. Um I think before the Josh Hart trade, I think we kind of struggled defensively as a team. But I think after the Josh Hart trade, we kind of got better defensively. We started playing much better defensively since he got here. So he's been a big help for us. Um, if we could continue to bring that type of energy into round two, is we might have an advantage. You know what I mean? It's gonna be it's either way. I think it's gonna be a tough series. Each game probably is gonna be close. It's always to me it
Yeah.
might go down to the wire. You never know, because we
We had
always
a
play
big
each other
we had a
tough.
big turning point also when Kevin Love joined the team. Nobody really thought that he was going to be as big of an impact player as he is. But quiet as kept, Kevin Love has made key buckets for us to keep us in a lot of those games that went down to the stretch in Milwaukee. And
Yeah,
not
and
only that,
he averaged like 15 points, right?
exactly. And nobody expected, that from Kevin Love. But if you look at the way our team was set up before Kevin Love joined, we didn't have any stretch big man. He was the one. That's what we needed. We needed a big man that could shoot the three. In Miami, we didn't have that. We haven't had that for years. I can't think of the last big that we had that could stroke it the way that Kevin Love does. So that was just a big key piece that we've been long waiting for. So I feel like that's been our missing piece. Kevin Love has been our missing link because we haven't had a Kevin Love. And
Right.
he can hit the glass too. Like he
Now
can
he
hit the
can. I
glass.
see it now. Last game he had 12 rebounds, 7 rebounds, 7 rebounds.
He hits
That
the
series
glass.
went in five, right? That series went in five.
Yeah, we beat him in 5.
So
That's a gentleman's sweep.
yeah, he basically averaged like 8 rebounds a game in that
We
series.
just beat the number 1 team in the NBA, and you're
Yeah,
saying y'all gonna beat us in 5. Like
I
that's so
got
disrespectful.
confidence.
That, but that's some New York shit to say though.
Yeah, man.
Like that's
That's
I swear that's some New York y'all niggas like Like, oh yeah,
Yo,
son, I'm online watching this, son. We gonna sweep these niggas, son. Yeah, nigga, 4 games, son. Bring on Boston and Philly, son.
I wouldn't
Yeah,
say 4 games. I wouldn't say 4 games, but
don't do it. Don't
listen,
do it. See,
listen.
that's it.
We faced one of the toughest, well-rounded teams in the East, man. The Cavs ain't no slouch. Even though they don't have the playoff experience, they still got some
They ain't
real.
Milwaukee, man. Y'all, they
They
are
not
not.
Milwaukee. They not Milwaukee. Listen, they not Milwaukee, but they still won 51 games. they
Yeah,
they still won
Donovan on the
51
strength of
games,
Donovan Mitchell.
and they still had a well-rounded team and a well-rounded team. You know
But
what
they
I mean?
young. There's a well-rounded young team.
And
They
so are we. And so are we. We are well-rounded young team that nobody thought we wouldn't have won. Everybody, like, you see this guy Jaffe Joe on
y'all
the
got
chat?
got a better coach.
Yeah, you see that guy Jaffe Joe? He predicted for the Cavs to win in 5. Ask him how that went.
I can't. Yeah. Hey, but you know what's crazy is like I see people, and I even be in the Heat group, and it's a lot of Heat fans that's predicting that we gonna sweep y'all, and I'm like trying to talk to these niggas like, yo, come on, you gotta respect your opponent, you gotta, you know what I'm saying, and I come on here and here you come, we gonna beat y'all in 5. Son. Like, hey, Heat Nation, fuck that. We gonna beat them in 4. We gonna sweep these boys. I should have listened to y'all to begin with. I knew it. Y'all was right. Y'all was right. They was like,
Hey,
man,
listen.
New York fans don't have no respect for nobody.
Nah,
You should see
man,
what they're
like,
saying about us. And here you come, proving my Heat fan base right. My bad, Heat Nation. All right, we got them in 4.
yo, man,
Oh
you
Lord,
know how it
Lord,
is,
child.
man. Like, we outside, B. We outside.
It's gonna be a great series. So the game is
Nah,
what, 1 p.m. tomorrow?
yeah, it's at 1 tomorrow. Listen, if you up for it, we could do recaps,
Let's
but
do it.
We'll talk about it off the air. You know
Yeah,
what
for
I
sure,
mean?
for
And
sure.
we'll chop it up.
This was lovely, yo. We do,
Yeah,
yeah. We got to
yeah,
do some recap. We know we got to follow it up with the recap.
yeah,
If
yeah,
we do the
yeah. So
pre-cap, we got to do the recap too and talk about it. And you know what? We'll even throw in some other picks. So anyway, real quick, who you got tomorrow between Golden State and Sacramento?
I got Sacramento.
You got Sacramento winning, beating, knocking off. So if you saying that, you saying the dynasty might be over.
I just you know what it is, man. Like, I'm really like for the underdog.
I
Like,
see that. I
I'm
see
really
that.
for the
Okay.
underdog. Like
But
a lot.
Sacramento is favored in this series, though.
Yeah, but
They're the higher seed.
overall, from what a lot of people that I've spoken to, man, they like, oh, the Warriors got this, the Warriors got this, but I don't know. There's something about that team. There's something about that team with the Kings, man. This year, and they've given Golden State a problem in the playoffs. You
Yeah,
know,
they special though. I just don't see. Man, if Sacramento makes it, if they end up playing the Lakers, I think that's would be the matchup. They would play the
yeah,
Lakers.
yeah,
I don't see Sacramento really giving the Lakers any type of trouble at all. Like
yeah,
the Lakers were. I think they will run through Sacramento because
yeah.
Sacramento too young, and the Lakers got that I don't know, whatever they did to Memphis to make Memphis look like a team full of frauds. I feel like they can do the same
Can I
thing
tell
to
you? Can I tell
Sacramento.
you? Can I tell you what happened, bro? I'm gonna tell you.
Go ahead.
You can never, ever in your life call LeBron James old, bro.
Yeah, yeah,
You
he
can't
shouldn't have did that.
ever give that
Yeah,
man that type of fucking energy, bro. How you gonna call that man, oh, you wild
yeah,
disrespectful, bro?
yeah. They
You
blew
can,
them. They blew their ass out the water last night. I say, damn, boy.
yo, if you notice, after he said LeBron James was old, LeBron's kind of, and then you trying to hit him in the nuts, like, fam,
Yeah,
you real
yeah, I
dirty,
saw
bro.
that.
Like, you gave him too much ammo.
He was
You can't
wilding.
give LeBron James ammo, bro. You
He was
cannot.
wilding out. I don't know what, yo, Dylan Brooks, yo, salute, shout out to you and all that, but yo,
Hey,
you cannot, you don't poke that bear. I know you say you like to poke the bear, but trust me, from experience, you know, hey,
Don't
LeBron
do
is a
that, bro.
different. He's a different beast. I watched him play up close my team for 4 years, and one thing you don't want to do is nothing like that. You don't want to poke the
Yeah.
bear with him.
Yeah, that
So,
was terrible, man. That was terrible. You
who
know.
you got in the series between? Let's go back to the Eastern Conference, Philly and Boston.
Mm.
I like Philly, and I like Philly to win that in 6 games.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. I agree. I like Philly. I mean, and Joel Embiid, man, it's time for him to, take that team to the next level, man. And I think they pretty much a well-rounded team too.
It's
With
his year.
they
I
got
think
some good
it's
players.
Embiid. I think it's his year to make a lot of noise, to open up a lot of eyes. He feels mad disrespected over the last few
Yeah.
years, not being acknowledged the way he felt like he should,
Hmm.
being one of the greatest players in the game right now. Probably, arguably, the best big man that we've seen north of Hakeem Olajuwon or Shaq. I don't know that we've seen a more
No.
dominant big man since then.
No, I
Uh,
always say, bro, I always say Joel Embiid is that guy that if you put him in that 90s era, I think he would have been just fine.
Oh yeah, like he's a throwback. He's
Yo,
that kind of
word.
he's a throwback, and to make it even worse, he has a handle and he has a range. So
Yeah,
he's like
that.
he's almost like a very rare breed. So yeah, shout out to Joel. I feel like yeah, them boys gonna take it in 6. Um, as far as Sacramento and Golden State, we already spoke on that. We got Phoenix and we got Denver.
Mm.
Who do you like in that series?
I think Phoenix is taking that series,
You
man.
think so?
I
Yeah,
think
I do
so.
too. I think it's gonna be over quick. I think they might do it in 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think so, man.
Honestly,
I don't
I,
think Denver got what it takes to be, CP3, Devin Booker, KD. Like,
nah,
I
heck
think that's
no.
way too much for them, bro.
No, they don't have the defenders. Like their
Nah.
defense is like out of all of the playoff teams, their defense is ranked on the bottom half of the 12. Like so, they don't have the greatest defense in the world, and then you couple that with going up against one of the more potent offensive teams in the whole playoffs. Yeah.
Hmm.
So I like Phoenix in like 5 games, 4 games maybe. And that's it. That's like the whole playoff roundup. I think our series is probably gonna be the most out of the whole second
Explosive.
round, our series is gonna be the most competitive.
Yeah, I think so, man. I agree. And I don't know what it is, but I feel like we always play each other well, whether it be the playoffs, whether it be the regular season. Like even in the regular season,
Yeah,
those games felt like playoff vibes.
yeah,
Like they
yeah.
weren't
They
just
were.
regular season games. Those were like games that was like, yo, this give me playoff atmosphere.
That
Like,
was because of the energy too. Like,
yeah.
and our fan base is traveling the way they do. Like, that's huge. That's a huge factor too. Like the
Mm-hmm.
New York Knicks fans that are in South Beach during the game, and the Heat fans that are in the Garden during the game. Like that's what makes it playoff atmosphere and playoff energy. That's part of what makes it have that feeling and that vibe for the playoffs. Is like, oh dang, because usually teams fans don't travel until it's the playoffs.
Oh shit. Actually, Phoenix just smoked Denver just smoked Phoenix.
Oh, they just played.
125-107. So they already down one.
Wow. Okay, so that's what. Wow. 0-1. So I guess there goes that sweep.
Yeah.
So it must be there goes that, and they were on the road.
Yep, they were on
It-
the road and wow. Jamal Murray had 34.
oh, Jamal Murray went off. Like,
Yo,
yeah,
he
and
had 34, 9, and 5. Jokic had 24, 19, and 5.
hey, but that Jamal Murray was that wild card
Jamal Murray. And
because
then Aaron Gordon had 23, 6, and he had 23 and 6.
well, let's not forget, like we can't be too disrespectful
Denver.
to yeah, the Denver Jamal Murray, namely because in the bubble, and before that, Jamal Murray was dealing. Like he was
Yeah,
out
yeah,
there,
that. Yeah,
like he
yeah.
was getting buckets and he was dropping assists on. Like he was flirting with triple doubles on nightly basis. Like let's not act like Jamal Murray wasn't that guy before the bubble and before I think so. What he hurt himself,
Nah,
he
he hurt
injured. Like
himself. I think he tore a knee ligament or some shit like
yeah,
that.
before that, he was so if he starts to become the guy that he was before that injury, and then you got Joker, and then you got Aaron Gordon. Aaron, I see you, Aaron Gordon. I've been seeing him. He was on my fantasy team for a good stretch of time this year, so I already know what kind of numbers he put up.
Yeah, he
So,
put up some good numbers actually. He
so
was
if you
9
look
of
at
13 for he played 39 minutes. He was 9 of 13 from the field. He hit 3 of 4 from 3-point shot from the 3-point line.
so they have a guy who they have their third guy.
Yup.
They have their third guy, and if they
Yup.
got three guys, they can compete with any team,
That's a fact.
including Phoenix. So I
Yeah.
guess I don't know, man. Devin
I might
Booker, I don't. Devin Booker to me sometimes comes up like seems like he just comes up short at the wrong times.
and he
I
had
don't
a
know
good
if
game. He had a good game today, man. He had 27 points, 8 assists, 4 rebounds, 1 steal, 2 blocks.
oh, okay.
He was 10 of 9 from the 10 of 19 from the field, and he only shot 1 3-pointer that he missed.
So he was
Yeah,
doing a lot of damage from the mid range on in.
yeah. His mid range game was crazy,
It was going strong. Yeah.
and I don't think they using. I mean, I could be wrong, right? I could be wrong, but I feel like I don't think they using KD correctly.
Well, I mean, KD is a plug-in. I mean, he's one of the greatest players that's played this game. Also, I would love to believe that KD can assert himself in any system, but I don't know. Like maybe they're not maximizing KD. Maybe he's not. When you say they're not using him right, he's not getting enough touches. Is that what you ultimately
Like I
saying?
feel like I seen him every game I watch him. He's like at the corner at the 3-point line. They got
So
him
he's
like
not getting
behind the
enough
key,
touches. Okay.
like things like that. But from what I'm looking here at the score, I think the second quarter was the biggest turnaround, bro. They
So,
got outscored in the second quarter, 37-19. So
ooh,
yeah,
yeah,
that
they
says
went in a halftime looking bad.
they went into
And they
halftime
probably
looking
never
bad.
recovered. They never
They
recovered from
never
halftime.
recovered. No, I mean they tried to recover, but it was too late.
Yeah, well,
Too
I
late.
don't know how many times we're gonna expect. What did KD have? How many points did Durant have?
He had 29, 14 rebounds, 1 assist, 1 steal, 3 blocks, 7 turnovers.
Ooh, yeah, that's huge. Those seven turnovers did it. And Durant only scoring 29. I mean, 29 for a regular player, that's great. But for Kevin Durant, is not going cut it. They ain't bring Kevin Durant there to score in the
Nah.
20s. They brought him to be that guy and win them games. And him and Devin Booker only scoring in the 20s. I mean, yeah, those numbers sound great individually. And if you just look at it, they sound, but these players are not just regular players. You expect these are your money guys. These are the guys you expect to
Right.
take you there and bring. I mean, hell, Jimmy Butler by himself scored almost the combine of what what they did.
Nah, that's a fact. I think Jimmy in that one playoff game he had like 50, what, 52?
52. And then the prior game before that, he had like 40. So
He had
yeah,
92 points in 2 games.
yeah. Yeah. So when now I'm just saying that to say that that's what you expect from your guys like
Yeah,
that, like
yeah,
a
yeah.
Kevin Durant and a Booker, a Devin Booker. You expect those two guys to at least combine for like 60, at least combine for if the all two ain't combining for at least 60 in the playoffs, then I don't think that's gonna work.
Yeah, they only had 19 shots each, bro.
That's not gonna work.
Yeah.
That
19 shots
that's
each.
not
Even
gonna work,
Devin Harris
especially
had
against
19
no
shots.
Denver team.
Yup. They had 19 shots each. Devin Booker went 10 of 19, and Kevin Durant went 12 of 19 from the field.
Man,
Yeah.
that's not gonna work. Them boys got to get up a higher volume of shots. They need to do that. That's not going to work. And M7 turnovers, Kevin Durant. I,
And you know who I think is gonna be, and you know who? Chris Paul was basically a no-show.
oh, okay. See that now, and he does those Houdini acts sometimes.
Yeah.
And then
So
he'll
yeah,
pop up with an injury out of nowhere. God forbid that he has one, but those no shows and those you can't have that in the critical
yeah,
moments of the playoffs too. I mean, he has
yeah,
been around for a while, and the seasons are starting to add up, but this is what you load manage your way through the regular season for. It's for this time.
yeah. So yeah, man, that's what it is, bro.
Yeah, so but we'll see now. I mean, now that it's one game in favor of Denver, that might be a little bit more interesting than we think it would be. So, but tomorrow's games are huge games. All of them are huge. Every game tomorrow is going to be a big one. I think it's just what us. It's 3 games tomorrow, right?
I think so. Let me see. Hold up.
It's a triple header.
Yeah, I think so. I'll tell you right now.
'Cause I know it's us, and then it might be Philly and Boston. I don't know if they might
Yeah, Sunday it's just Miami and Golden State. Miami Knicks, Golden
and
State,
go to okay.
Sacramento.
So it's a double header. So just
It's a
those 2 games.
doubleheader. Yeah,
Oh,
it's a
okay.
doubleheader. And
So we play
Then Monday, it's gonna be Philly and Phoenix, and then Tuesday it's gonna be Miami, and then whoever play the Lakers and whoever they
and
play.
whoever ends up winning this game tomorrow between Golden State and Sacramento.
Yeah,
Man, hey Curry, I hope you can pull it. I don't want to see your dynasty end. I want your dynasty to continue, Steph. So get
yeah,
the boys together, get Draymond on the right page. Y'all go down up to Sacramento and y'all take care of them young boys so we can get us a nice LeBron versus Steph playoff series.
rematch.
Yeah, let's try to make that happen.
Yeah,
But
that'll
yeah,
be a good one, man. But yeah,
no.
man. So this was a good one, man.
Definitely was. But I knew it was going to be. I mean, we already know how we get down.
Yeah,
Salute and shout out to everybody who showed up for the live. I see y'all
yeah,
down there.
facts,
Y'all stay
facts.
tuned for some of mine. I'm definitely host a couple of these over on the Heat side of things. But shout out to Kev for being an excellent host, having me come through and bless the spot. Shout out to all of y'all. I can't mention everybody from New York that I know a lot of New Yorkers, and what I'm saying, y'all play a big important role in my life. So shout out to y'all. Shout out to hip hop
No
music,
doubt, man.
all of that. But we're gonna do the recap. We definitely gonna
Yo,
do the recap.
for
And I
any
need to find out. You guys need to let me know how I can get this link to this same exact live so I can go back over it again. And for those who didn't get a chance to check it out, I can share it with them too.
Yeah, nah, I got you. When I finish, I'll send the link to you so you can rewatch it and stuff. But let people know where they can find you at in case there's any Heat fans in the chat.
Oh,
You know,
definitely.
your
Yeah, to
Twitter
the Heat
handle,
fans.
your IG handle, your Facebook handle, your
Yes,
YouTube
sir.
handle,
Make
all
sure
that.
y'all check me out on YouTube. I got the YouTube channel popping, Sports Coasters. That's me, yours truly, Chill Samp, aka Brother I know him. See the Sports Coaster. So it's a Sports Coaster at YouTube. Also on IG, we got at Sports Coasters. That's SPORTSCOASTERS 305. Sports Coasters 305. Make sure y'all check that out. And we on Twitter too, also at the same name, Sports Coasters. So we trying to let y'all know from coast to coast, sports from the bottom to the top, from east to west. That's the Sports Coaster. So y'all check me out on my station, and we're gonna do this again with Big Kev, so we can kind of you bridge the gap between Miami and New York a little bit.
All right, man. So yeah, man. Listen, it was a great conversation.
Great chop
Um,
up. Salute to you, brother. Salute,
Fact,
salute.
fact. I appreciate everybody that showed up. All you guys, man. Yeah, all the love that y'all showed up today. I appreciate y'all to the fullest. We'll talk to y'all tomorrow, man. Knicks in 5. Let's go Knicks, baby.
I see you out there. All right, let's go Heat. We're
All
gonna
right,
try to do this thing, make it a nice, interesting series. But salute to all y'all. Peace.
all right, man. All right, let me end it. And